Get off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pei.
And welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports radio station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, home to the Asian Oprah, number one talk in the IE. Thank you very much. And streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, Podchaser, Speaker, and more. Why so many places? Well, I want to balance out all the bad news with some good news. Don't talk about headlines, balancing them out with heartlines, because there's plenty of places you can get all that, and it is 100% negative. And so I want you to have an alternative. And they say I said I would not last for a year, and 13 plus years later, 690 consecutive weeks, 1,439 39 podcast shows later. I'm still here, and I'm so glad that you are still here too. And welcome to everyone. If you're not driving, please join us in the chat. If you are driving, wait till you get somewhere safe before you start chatting, because I do love a challenge. So I go live no matter where I am in the world. Today I'm broadcasting live last day from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Oh, Canada, where I got to do some fun things. Well, I got to do some important things like the celebration of life of my mom, but wherever I go, I like to combine business, my Happy 88 mission business, 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years, with pleasure visiting family and friends and all of that. But I'm jumping ahead to my gratitude sandwich. But I do also collect fun and important and meaningful people who share my message of hope and happiness. And she's also very special because she invited me to be on her stage while I was here, and Turnabout is Fairplay. So she's on my stage today. Her name is Reverend Barbara Schreiner-Trudel. She's transformed a life marked by hardship, teen pregnancy, violence, poverty, and addiction into one of profound joy, purpose, and service. Since 1996, she has inspired thousands through her speaking, coaching, and ministry to create lives of freedom, fulfillment, and peace. An award-winning leader, ordained minister, and author of 6 books, Barbara is the founder and spiritual director of the Universal Joy Center, where I got to not only speak, but sing as well. Please welcome to my show, Barbara, Reverend Barbara.
I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. So happy that you're here. And we got to put more than just guest. You are, author. Well, actually, I think the most important for me anyway is that you're the founder of a wonderful organization called the Universal Joy Center, spelled the Canadian way. So let's put that down there. I'm going to tease her a second because she has her own show as well. And so when I signed on, it had her name, and under it said host. And I said, actually, change it. So she went from one extreme to the other and just a guest. You're more than a guest. So there we go. And I start my shows with breakfast. We're going to have breakfast together. I didn't tell you about this because I like to keep it fresh. Fresh breakfast consists of taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich. And what is that? The top of the bun is, what am I grateful for that's outside of myself? And then bottom of the bun is, what am I grateful for inside of myself? Do this as a good life habit, a hashtag discipline, as my big brother Mike Bernard Beckman will say. because too many of us start our day like this. I call it MS, meaningless scrolling, and pretty much guaranteed you'll be in a bad mood by the end of the scroll or even in the middle. And so I wanted you to have an alternative. And so as we start the day with gratitude and end the day with appreciation, you're going to sandwich your day in the most positive way. So I'll start. I am grateful that I'm leaving on a jet plane today. I love you, Canada. However, this hot, sticky weather, yesterday, Barbara told me it was 43 degrees Celsius, which translates to 113 degrees Fahrenheit. And I know why I left.
Yes, 100% humidity.
Unbelievable. And I am grateful to my second gratitude, grateful to my brother who lent me his Jeep. And it's an older, he wanted to sell it or trade it in, but because I was coming, he thought I could use it. And the air conditioning went out the first day. So I've been driving around this heat for 3+ weeks. And so I'm grateful for air conditioning, whether I have it or not. Barbara, what are you grateful for?
Well, I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for the presentation you did at our center and how well it was received. People loved you so much and loved the message. And I'm hoping that it really lasts for them, that they continue that happiness thing. And I'm just super grateful for the restoration of my health. I'm just so grateful that I'm feeling so good these days, and I'm almost on the other side of that surgery. So yeah, I've lots to be grateful for.
Yeah, you have back surgery. That was, you're moving around really well. I don't know anyone who's successfully gone through back surgery. My cousin or cousin in love who's coming to take me to the airport. Her surgery was not successful. My friend Melody Beatty, her back fusion was challenging. So congratulations on that. It's not easy.
A few more months.
Yeah, and I have had 2 hip replacements, not one, but 2 hip replacements. And my
Me too.
You too? Oh Lord, you need that. Yeah. I'm grateful for my love streamers. We've got Keisha Turner, who's also part of Agape International Spiritual Center, where I'm faculty.
Hi, Keisha. Glad you're here.
Yeah. And I am grateful that, let's see. I am grateful that the planets did not crash into each other last night. And we have another day to live, love, laugh, learn, respect, innovate, create, delight, and innovate. And isn't that amazing? So
beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah. One more gratitude from you.
I'm just grateful for my ability to love, regardless of who it is, where it is, or whether I know them or not. I tell people I love them all the time. And to see the smile and warmth on their face when I do that just fills my heart. So I'm grateful that I'm willing to love wherever I am.
Yeah. And that is a great segue, actually, to the bottom of the bun, which is, what do you like about yourself? And you saw the grace and ease with which she brought that out. It is truly my BS, my belief system, that good mental health starts with self-care, self-love, self-approval. Absolutely. And if you don't know what you're good at, how the fork do you expect anybody else to approve of you? So that is why we do this part of the exercise. I want you to do it before you go to bed. We're going to model it for you, because when you identify that what your strengths are, even if you were told, you're not all that, or you don't toot your own horn, or in Chinese or Japanese, there's a saying, the nail that stands up is hammered down. All of that is by well-meaning parents, more mean than well sometimes, but you're an adult now, or I have teen following, so you're old enough to begin to really understand that you are lovable, loving, and loved. And so that's what we do on this show. So tonight, instead of beating yourself up or saying I didn't finish this or who done me wrong, I want you to highlight. So Reverend Barbara just said she likes that she's loving. I will say that I like that I'm funny and that I've owned my funny. My husband said I wasn't funny for many years, actually the entire marriage. But I now know and own that I'm funny, and I just demonstrated in Toronto. I actually went from novice and amateur in Hollywood to amateur semi-pro, and I did my first headliner. So I am funny, and I'm owning it.
Yes, I love that.
What else do you like about yourself?
I love my speaking ability. The fact that I can stand up and speak anytime, anywhere, on any topic, pretty much, without worrying about it. Like, it's whatever needs to come obviously is there, and it just comes. And I'm so grateful for that. And I'm grateful for my smile.
Yay. Beautiful. And just sharing a little, Keisha, you will find this very fun and interesting. Reverend Barbara told me that, well, you go ahead and say, when I mentioned that Michael was my big brother, you said.
Well, when I graduated ministry, we were at a seminar, and I was going, how do I do this? I'm not like my minister, and I don't know how to do what she does, which of course I won't do. But Michael got up on stage, Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith got up on stage and did his thing. And he was just so awesome. And at one point in time, he's yelling at us that the reason Jesus could walk on water is because he got out of the boat. So get out of the boat. Anyway, after I heard him speak, I thought, oh, I could just be me. I could just be me. I could show up as me, and that would be sufficient.
Yes.
So it was a great, great gift that he gave me.
So I texted him and I told him that story, and his response is, I remember that talk, exclamation mark. It's about taking that first step, even if you're afraid. Get out of the boat.
The boat. Yeah. It was so powerful, and his presence was just so there that it just made it safe, actually, I guess, for me to get out of my own way and to get out of my own boat of restrictions, because I was told my whole life, shut up, you talk too much.
Yes, and we'll talk about that after breakfast. But Keisha, I hope you enjoyed that little inside story, since you know the guilty and innocent parties in all of this. And he just celebrated another birthday himself. And I haven't sung happy birthday to him, so I'll just do happy birthday, dear big brother. Michael Bernard Beckwith. Happy birthday to you. He's done so much to as a true big brother for me. I'm so
nice.
Yeah. So that's it for breakfast. Thanks for joining us. And whatever you believe creates a habit, 21 days, 28 days, 30 days, whatever those days are, please do practice this little good life habit so that you can have some side effects like more smiling, more laughter, and a better day. Thanks for joining us for breakfast. And now for the topic of the day, and I usually have a little bell, but when I'm traveling, we use this one.
Hey, you! Hey! Hey, you!
All right. That is the signal that we're going to start with the topic of the day, which is Barbara Jean. And I'm going to use a little tool that is dated, because you'll understand, but millennials, I don't even know if they know what an answering machine is. However, it's like voicemail. I don't have an answering machine. I have a questioning machine. And when you call me, it says, "Who are you and what do you want?" So, Reverend Jean, who are you and what do you want?
Oh wow, that's deep. Uh, I'm so many things, but one of the things when I was asked that question in my practitioner training, the first thing that came out is I am love expressing. And that was my answer to that. And I can say I'm a bunch of things. I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, I'm a great grandmother, I'm a wife, I'm a divorcee many times over. I'm that's a whole other story. Um,
Okay.
I had a baby at 16. I had another baby at 48. Two more in between, but that's kind of a remarkable thing.
It's remarkable.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just spirit expressing, I guess. I just try to follow that wisdom wherever it takes me, and it's working.
That's incredible. So, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Calgary, Alberta, and lived there for 42 years. That's where I did my ministerial training with Reverend Carol Carnes, Reverend Dr. Carol Carnes. And yeah, Calgary was home. I have two children still living there, and one that lives in Nova Scotia, and then one who lives here with me. But I have no desire to go back. I kind of like Toronto, other than the humidity.
And the child that lives with you has a beautiful voice. She
Yes.
Absolutely. I hope she, continues with that and encouraging.
She sings constantly. It's her passion. It's what she loves. She wants to get back into musical theater, so I'm sure she'll accomplish that. And yeah, she's got just a stunning voice. Yes. And the fact that she works it constantly is what's making it get better and better.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you who are saying, hold on, Dr. Marissa, you have a rule, no politics and no religion on the show. And you've got a reverend here. You talk about Michael Bernard Beckwith, who is also the founder of Agape International Spiritual Center. What's up with the breaking of the rules? I'm not breaking rules because I am allergic to religion.
Me too.
But, and Reverend Barbara is as well. We are both part of, I would say, spirituality. I'm sure you already know this. Religion is for people who want to avoid going to hell, and spirituality is for those of us who've already been there. And you haven't heard that before? Oh, good.
I love it.
You would love it. And, I grew up very fundamental evangelical Southern Baptist. And I think as a result of, I joke around and say that's the precursor to agnosticism or atheism. But there's a balance, and there's no, it's like if you are in that category, you kind of threw the baby out with the bathwater. And so I am a huge, I'm grateful that I, was able to, go from one extreme to the other and come back. That's why I'm all about balance in the middle, to have a God of my understanding that I call my UPS man, my universal power source. He delivers.
I love that.
Okay?
Yes.
And he's not angry, doesn't need anger management classes and all of that. So it's a genre that is now way more prevalent with the secret kind of, I'm not a secret follower in the sense that I think the focus is too much on material manifestation. I'm an Abraham Hicks law of attraction girl. I'm also, obviously, visioning like what I've worked with, all of that helps every individual understand way more than their experiences as a human being,
Yeah.
That's where, that's why she's on the show. is that there's a lot more to life than multiple divorces.
Well, I will add to that. Number 5 is who I'm married to now, and we've been married for 23 years, very happily.
And I met him, and he's lovely. And and this is my. So I obviously am born in Canada, and so instead of talking about the elephant in the room, I say I put the moose on the table. So I forgot to bring the moose, so I have a new moose, and he has a parachute. So just the moose on the table about the divorces.
Well, you know, it's interesting how you grow up a certain way, like you were talking about being raised with religion. I was raised without it. My father was agnostic, and my mother was a Christian, and he won and she lost. So that was just how it went. And so I could count on one hand probably how many times I went to church prior to my 20s. And when I did go, I actually went to a Nazarene church, which is pretty fundamentalist. And I was there for a year and a half. But the first night that I went there, I had an awakening, an epiphany that there is this presence of love that permeates all life everywhere. And it's intelligent. And I got that message really loud and clear. I stayed at that church for a year and a half because that's where I received the message. But I kept questioning. Like, what do you mean we're the only ones who can go to heaven? I don't understand that. Like, I had an experience of God as love, not as God as punisher. And so it took me a minute, but I found CSL, the Centers for Spiritual Living, just shortly after that. And when I went there, the first thing I felt when I entered the sanctuary for the very first time, which happened to be a theater, not a church, it was a theater. And when I went in there, the feeling was just this incredible love that just permeated everything in the space. And I thought, I've come home.
That's that great story. We're in a theater now too. I don't know if you know, Agape moved into a theater at the Savant. Yeah. That's funny. I similarly had that, burning bush kind of thing. I had gone. Did I tell you this story? I don't remember if I said.
I don't think you did.
Okay, so I know you're the guest, and I'm supposed to let you talk, but I have to tell you this.
You get to talk to.
Well, this is why I love my show. Is like it's not. I don't do pre-interviews because I just like to get to know people on the show. There's no, specific. That's why you're the topic. It's like there's no whatever we're supposed to say, we're going to say, right?
Exactly.
So I was church shopping because I knew that I didn't want that kind of church where it said God has many rooms in his mansion, but we're in the penthouse and you're in the outhouse, right? So I went shopping and I went to, Catholic church and Anglican church, Baptist church, to give it all, something. And somebody said, and I went to a Center for Spiritual Living in Seal Beach, and someone said, you should go to Agape. I said, oh, somebody told me 5 years ago to go to Agape, and that's why I haven't gone. Don't tell me what to do, right?
We have so much in common.
I know. The thing too, you share and I share and Michael shared is that we don't script and we don't, what is said. Like I have a brief idea, but that's anyways. So I was sitting. To this day, I don't. He thinks I know from the secret. Don't tell him, but
yeah.
And I sat in meditation. I wasn't a meditator, and people coughing and sneezing. Oh, when is the guy going to come and talk? Great. And I thought, well, let me just quiet, just take a breath. And then all of a sudden, I felt this presence, kind of like Batman. That kind of you could actually feel it, like at Hollywood Boulevard with big platforms used. And I felt this energy move behind me very strongly, and I felt a tap on my shoulder, and I heard a voice, say, darling, you can church shop from now till eternity, but know that I've always been here waiting for you to turn around and dance with me.
I love that.
I just broke down, started crying, just this massive release. No one around me. I remember exactly. We were in Culver City at the time. I was by that, central pole, sitting right.
Yeah, I was there. I went into that particular center. Yeah, I know that one.
And it was crazy. And then Michael came on stage and started talking like nobody had ever heard. Love, peace, joy, harmony. I had a poem at the time, dating myself, and I'm like, whoa, and I'm writing it all down.
Yeah.
And like mesmerized. So
the teaching does that, and especially with somebody like Michael that is so passionate that as he presents these ideas, he does it with such energy. Like the man never has to worry about gaining a pound because he's doing so much movement on stage. And it's big and it's bright and it's loud and it's gentle and it's soft and it's warm and it just touches the heart. And that to me is, what this is all about. And I remember that epiphany moment for me. It was like I walked into that church in absolute darkness. But when I walked out, somebody had flipped the switch and the lights were on. And I could see something I'd never seen before. Now, I was a heavy smoker at the time. I smoked 4 packs of cigarettes a day. Yeah, you got to wake up at night to do that, to get them all in. And I was able to smoke at work at the time, so that made it easier too. But on the Saturday after that epiphany, I had this absolute note that if I continue to smoke, I will be hauling around an oxygen tank by 40. And this is the temple of God, and I have no right destroying it. That message was so loud. 2 days later, I butted out a cigarette, and I said to my friend, that's the last one you'll see me smoke, till the next one. And that was over 40 years ago. And I have never had a craving. Not the first day, the first hour, the first month. Never have I craved a cigarette.
Wow, that is.
It's like you make up your mind and then it's done, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's part of the way of life on manifesting and allowing. My newest analogy is like I'm Thor, but a female Asian version, shorter hair. But I just I say this is what I would like, right? And then I have a resume, a to-do list, but it's split in half. And on one side, it's like here are the things that I am inspired to do action-wise, and then my UPS man gets to deliver whenever it's the best time or however, and it's worked. I mean, #1 Amazon national bestseller, award-winning show lasting, 690 consecutive weeks with an impression of 3.996 million impressions now. Like that's all. I went like this, and that I didn't try to manipulate or control or, any of that most of the time. 88%. Be honest now. So, yeah. And so that's why I, have people like Reverend Barbara on and again, not preaching, we're preaching to the choir, but not preaching and making you do something. But this is only if you're not 88% happy, right? That's one whole thing. If you're not, is it working for you? If it's working for you, fantastic. And then we're here to, buoy and continue to encourage. But this is free, right?
Completely.
Life. Yeah. Now Okay, so you're now in Toronto. You established this. You're not a Center for Spiritual Living anymore. You've gone under your own sort of brand, is what I'm guessing.
It is my brand, but I'm still CSL.
Okay.
I'm ordained with both CSL and Unity. Which, yeah, so I'm still CSL, but that name is, and the logo I felt was a little tired.
Okay.
And I thought, what did this teaching do for me? It allowed me to learn how to express joy and to be joyful. And so changing the name to the Universal Joy Center, that's what you're going to get by attending. You will come to a place of joy when you learn this teaching.
Yeah, I love it too, because I have an addiction for joy.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And so you are in Toronto. Just give you a little promo here. You do meet every Sunday. It's a great space. It's like a little warehousey, and it's right downtown Toronto. So check them out. You have a website.
Yes, ujoyc.ca.
ujoyc.ca.
Yeah, that's the website. All the information's on there that you need to find us, phone numbers, whatever, so that you can come and visit or, come online. We do a hybrid service, so it's streamed online as well as in person. Yeah, there's the homepage of our website.
So this is where you can find some joy if what you're doing is not necessarily working for you.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Rumi. You might know, I've been looking for that saying, that Rumi. Someone told me that I was the saying, and then it was so beautiful. I didn't write it down. I've been looking for it ever since. That I am the opening in the flute with which God plays music, or something like that.
Oh, that sounds like Rumi. That's beautiful.
It sounds like Rumi, but I can't seem to find it. Anyways, that's the closest.
Oh.
But
if I find it, I'll send it to you.
Thank you. Thank you. So encouraging you. I'm not staying. However, you can, my new listeners and watchers, and I've made quite a few beautiful connections here in Toronto, mainly in the comedy.
In the comedy biz. I love it.
Yeah. So please do go visit Reverend Barbara and all of the folks there. Super nice. And I think my episode is coming up soon, where I think they taped it or they're republishing or something like that, right? When I was here.
Oh, it was streamed live at the time, and it is on our YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
And so you can watch it right now.
Wow.
After the show.
Yes. Good point. Good point. All right. We are at the middle of the show, which means it is time to take a quick break for news, weather, and traffic, and the sponsor of the show. So we'll be back. Don't go away. As Chuck Wooler used to say, we'll be back in 2 and 2. I say peace in and peace out. Don't go away. We'll be right back with Reverend Barbara G.
Well, she has been dubbed the Asian Oprah, and she just wants all of us to be happy.
Dr. Marissa, aka the Asian Oprah, says the most important thing you can choose is choosing to be happy.
You are tuned into my weekly talk radio TV show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa.
That's the idea for Dr. Marissa Pei's new book called 8 Ways to Be Happy.
Many of us say, I am my own worst critic. Nobody's harder on me than I am. And my response to that is, stop it. Why are you doing that to yourself? You have to be your biggest fan, because if you can't at the end of the day say, I did a good job, who is? We don't have to constantly be angry at the things that are wrong. Why don't we choose to be happy about things that are right? We have the choice. That's our muscle. And life is so amazing if we can see it.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pei.
And welcome back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, home to the Asian Oprah, number one talk in the IE. Thank you very much. And streaming everywhere, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and of course my show Central YouTube TV channel. Please free subscribe. Give me the finger, not that one, but this one. And you'll get access to all 1,439 podcast shows over the past 690 consecutive weeks, but who's counting? And also playlists like my red carpet playlist, where I have interviews with Halle Berry, John Travolta, Quincy Jones, and also my filmography, my short film PPP, that won a Laurel, my first that came out of COVID, called Post-Pandemic Possibilities.
I love it.
And today I have in studio a new friend. She invited me to come speak on her stage, and got a tit for tat here, so I invited her onto my stage. It's Reverend Barbara Schreiner-Trudel.
Trudel.
Oh.
Trudel, yes.
She's the founder and spiritual director of the Universal Joy Center and so much more. Welcome back to my studio.
So happy to be here.
Yeah, I like applause. So, what would you say to people who are concerned right now about instability, maybe in the government, the rising prices of everything, the stupid tariff things from who, all of the things, like, seems like every day there's a new list of things to worry about, things to be fearful about and anxious about, and nobody wants to move to the States anymore, so I'm not going to say that. But what do you say to the average person right now who's, not really liking what they see in the news?
Usually the first question I ask is, how much news are you watching? And if you're watching something and you start to feel anxiety, shut it off. Walk away from it. What's interesting is I don't watch the news, but I always get the information. My husband, or you hear somebody on the street corner say something. I mean, you always get the information. But with this 24-hour news cycle, you can absolutely create horrible pain in your body, mind, and soul by sitting in front of that, watching it over and over. And I remember 9/11. So many people sat in front of their TVs and watched that second plane hit over and over and over. And my daughter phones me one day because her husband's watching it. And she says, the kids are really upset, like they're terrified. I said, shut off the TV. She said, he won't let me. But that, when we're feeding the anxiety, we're actually doing something really harsh to our body and to our mind, and also to the whole experience of everybody around us, because everything's energy, and our energy just drops and plummets. And what we want to do is find a way to reverse that. And so part of it is, if you have to watch the news, then pick a half hour, midday, and then shut it off. Don't watch anymore. Believe me, you'll get enough info. Or watch, The Daily Show or something like that,
Or my show.
Yeah, come and watch Dr. Marissa. Absolutely.
Every
Go
week.
on it. Every day, every week. Yeah. And I think that the more we can begin to look within ourselves to find that within us is joy. It exists. It's a natural thing. Every person has it, whether they recognize it or not. And it really takes us honoring who we are and standing up for ourselves. You know, that nail will not be hammered down. It's going to stay strong, and allow ourselves to feel the love and the joy that is around us. I do a show on Friday nights called And Now the Good News. And it's 30 minutes of just stories, good news stories, whatever they are. And there are so many amazing people in the world today.
And I'm a guest on that show.
Yeah, it's such a powerful thing to focus your attention on being grateful, on appreciation, and on happiness. Because if we focus there, then that expands and grows in our lives. If we're focusing on dread, then the anxiety is what's going to grow, and we're going to get sick probably, or have something else happen.
Yeah,
Something negative.
not
It
problem.
will, yeah, it'll happen.
And I'm adamant about that because I'm a scientist. I have a PhD in organizational psychology, and I had to do a whole bunch of research that I didn't want to do. And when I first started talking in this field of happiness, the data was not, it was like a supposition. Well, it makes sense that if you're happy, you're going to be healthier, right? Happy, healthy, the healthy wise, whatever.
They do go together.
Yeah. But there was no empirical data that supported that. So people would poo-poo it. Now, Harvard, Scripps, right? Cleveland, all of them have really solid studies that test people, prolonged state of stress equals chronic illness. Okay, so that's no longer maybe it's definitely
a fact.
So if you want to hurt yourself, and I love what you said about not going to do the body temple. That is huge because a lot of us have habits that we kind of know is not good for us, but the brat in us, and when I do happiness coaching, we identify the name of the brat. And she's the one, mine's name is Agnes. I don't know if that came from Agnes of God or whatever, but Agnes will say, what do you mean I can't have that Krispy Kreme donut? Or what do you mean I can't fly to Africa when I have 2 blood clots, right? What do you mean I have to cancel the world tour? School, I'm invincible. Or what do you mean I have to apologize to that person? She wrong. So that if you treat Agnes or your brat, as Reverend Barbara's saying, with, well, yeah, you may not feel like that, but ultimately you're going to hurt all of us with the consequences of that position or the consequences of that decision. So that's a good one.
Yeah, it's so important to be kind. And I love the random acts of kindness and senseless beauty movement that started so long ago. But I do random acts of kindness all the time. And it's fun to watch the response. And my favorite one was when my daughter was 14. We were at a drugstore here in Toronto picking a few things up. And we went in, there was a gentleman at the door going, do you have any spare change or whatever? And said, no, I never carry change, but I could buy you some food if you like. And he goes, oh, that would be amazing. So I went in, got all the stuff I needed, bought him a bunch of food, and came out and gave it to him. And he had tears in his eyes, and he grabbed me and gave me a big hug. And he was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And then he looks at my daughter. And I mean, he's a grown man. She's a 14-year-old girl. And all of a sudden he realizes it's okay. And he says, come here, you little shit. And he gives her this giant hug. And she got in the car with me and said, that was the best thing ever. And it cost me like $10. Like it just, the joy we can receive and share, the joy we can give But it has to start here. I have to be okay in here in order to give that out.
Yeah.
Can't give what you don't have.
Absolutely. I like my frack movement, which is frequent acts of kindness.
Yeah. It's something you do all the time.
Yeah.
Smile at the checkout girl who's having a bad day and hasn't even noticed you're there. You know, she's throwing your groceries. Say her name.
Yeah.
You know, just say at the end, go, thank you so much, Sarah. That was amazing. I really appreciate you. Takes 2 seconds, didn't cost me anything. And all of a sudden she's beaming.
Yeah.
And the next people through are receiving the benefit of that moment. So kindness is easy, super easy.
I want to put the kind back into humankind.
Yes.
I've actually been in Starbucks lines where somebody will pay for the order behind. That's kind of cool too.
Yeah, I've done it a lot.
And my easiest one is when people say, how are you? Which is just a habit, right?
Yeah.
Instead of saying, I'm fine, you know what fine stands for, right?
I do.
Irrational, neurotic, and emotional.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I say, I'm happy, right? And people, oh, really? What happened? I go, nothing.
I'm just choosing to be happy.
It's a choice.
It is a choice. It really is a choice.
Yeah. We are very, very, I guess we are sisters or some kind of, different alignment. It's kind of funny.
I agree. One of the things that I like to teach people right off the bat is that every event that occurs is neutral. Every event is neutral. When I experience that event, I'm going to put a name on it, good or bad. And whatever name I put on it, that's going to evoke that emotional response. And, then I'm messed up maybe, or maybe I'm really joyful, but every event is neutral. And if we see it that way, we stop going, well, this is bad and that's bad. By whose determination? I might think it's bad, but you might think it's amazing. So who's right?
That's so funny because I had this interaction yesterday and it solidified why I am averse to saying things are right, wrong, good, bad, what category to go into. And he was a truth seeker, and we both know that truth is, however you're looking at whatever it is that you're looking at.
Exactly.
And I have tried 88% of the time to not label, is it good or bad? I say, is it useful or not? For me, is it useful for me? Yeah. And then to go skip back to something you said a long time ago, which is another way and powerful way when you said turn it off, like, watch it for half an hour and turn it off. That principle for me is if you don't like what you're looking at,
shut it off.
Looking at it. You got a gun to your head to look at it. And I said this on an interview on another podcast, and she's like, Dr. Marissa is a force of nature. I was like, I've never had that.
Dr. Marissa is a force for happiness. Changing the world.
So funny. But it's true that if I could, I just had a chill. I think what we are saying is that you really do have more power than you think you do.
Oh, yes, you do.
What's happening to you and how you feel. And I think that is one of the most, the best things that comes out of this life practice is understanding, things don't happen to you, they happen for you. But even beyond that is that you can influence what happens to you. So let's go a little advanced because I have you here. People will say, well, that's not true. I would never have done anything to attract cancer, to attract losing my job, to attract losing money, to attract someone cheating on me, to attract this government, whatever it is. You say that I can say that I can have, do, or be anything, but
Yes.
there's no link between where I am now and what I wanted. So how do you answer that?
I think that, what, number one, most people don't want to take responsibility for something that they have labeled as bad or negative. I look at every situation as an opportunity. And if it's an opportunity, so I just had spinal surgery a couple months ago, that's an opportunity. Now, some people could look at it and go, oh my gosh, that's terrible, that's awful. I'm not looking at it that way. I'm going, well, I had pain. They've now fixed it. I no longer have pain. Yay. And I'm healing. And it takes a year, but that's okay. It's 1 year out of a lifetime. So it's nothing really. And did I attract arthritis? Well, let me see. I like to eat it at McDonald's. Not so much anymore, but I used to. Eating junk food, drinking pop, all these things that are really harmful for the body will then have a result. So I'm smarter today. But what I did has had an effect that's still operating. And so what we want to do is we want to clear our consciousness, number one, because that's what's going to create our next thing. And that's why it's so important to look at every event as neutral. If the war in Russia and Ukraine is neutral, right? If I can look at it that way, then what does that say about how I'm going to respond? Because somebody in Russia thinks they're doing a good thing. Somebody in Ukraine thinks they're doing a bad thing. So again, we come back to that good and bad, and we want to take that off the table and realize that, because I had someone who developed breast cancer, and they were like, I didn't attract this. I didn't think about this. I said, you live in a world, you live in a country and in a city where there are pink ribbons everywhere. Vehicles are painted pink for breast cancer. You go to a store and they'll say to you, do you want to support breast cancer? My answer is always no, I will not support it. Now, if you ask me if I want to support research, then I'm in. But that's not what happens. People, that's what they're supposed to say, but they're cutting off a piece and don't realize the power of those words to create. Our words, our thoughts create our life. So if we look in the mirror and go, oh my God, I look like hell today. Guess what? That day, those words have power, and you've just set yourself up. There's a minister in LA at the, what's the name of the church? God, I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, she's hilarious. She's wonderful. She gets up in the morning and she looks in the mirror, and she used to play the theme from Rocky. And she'd jump up and down and get excited and go, I'm magnificent, I'm awesome, I'm fabulous. And that's how she would start her day, getting her energy revved up so that she could go out and be the minister she wanted to be. Some of us get up in the morning, drag our butt out of bed, haul it into the washroom, haul it into the kitchen, grab a cup of coffee, sit down and gripe about, oh no, I got to go to work and I don't feel it. And we wonder why we're miserable.
And you have a bad day at work. And you have paid way for a bad day at work by how you started the day. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So we do create our own reality, which means we have the power to create something different. If we don't like the way our life works, and I did not like the way my life worked when I was 30 and found this teaching. And when I turned around and started really looking at the teaching and practicing the things that were being taught, taking the classes, doing meditation, doing spiritual mind treatment, all of these things, what soon happened was I was experiencing more joy. I managed to, create, I started another center here before this one. And it's like I've been creating and doing, and I've been doing ministry for 25 years. I don't do anything else. This is my life calling, is to share these truths. And you get to decide for yourself. I'm not responsible for you. You are responsible for you. And people don't really want to take responsibility. And so when you tell them, well, there is something in your consciousness that has allowed this in, it doesn't mean you thought about it, but there was a receptivity. And sometimes with cancer, it's anger, which then if we don't express it creatively, possibly, and beautifully, what happens is it settles into our body and becomes cancer or arthritis or whatever. And it's not bad and wrong. You're not bad and wrong. You're not to blame.
You're not being punished.
And you're not being punished. You are merely experiencing the consequences of your previous mindset. Change that, you change your life.
I could finish your sentences. The choice. The most powerful tool you have in life is the ch word. It's not the C word. It's choice.
Choice.
Yes. Focus.
Yeah.
Quit the blame and shame game.
Exactly.
Want a better life? Don't wake up in the morning and say, F you, I'm fat and ugly. That's an F you attack, right?
Yeah.
Don't do that. It's not true. So who's the boss of you? My whole personal mastery effort these days, when I taught at UCLA in the fall, it was around, you can have all the professional success, but inside, if you're fear of failure, fear of success, imposter syndrome, perfectionism as a dis-ease, you're only as good as your last, you're not successful. I don't care how, many awards or how much money you make. If you're not here mastering the voices that keep you from being happy, come do the show every day go to Reverend Barbara's Universal Joy Center. Go to Agape. There's so much out
there's so much
for you to have the best life ever. That's my final word. We're out of time. I knew it would go fast. Reverend Barbara, please, one last final word that is less than 30 seconds.
Love yourself enough that you could love others, because that will teach them to love themselves, and then they will love you back. Love is flowing. Just be the love. Peace.
What I do at every end of every show, would you join me with your fingers, please? It's all about balance. Peace in, peace out.
Peace
World
out.
Peace through inner peace.
Absolutely. It is possible.
It is possible. Thank you so much, Reverend.
Thank you so much, Dr. Marissa. You're awesome. I love you.
I love you too. Now go and have the best weekend ever. We'll see you. Mental Health Matters Mondays. See you next week.